Good evening, everyone. This is Vinay Kumar from Insights IAS, Bangalore. Today, we will be discussing today's essay topic. In order to understand the world, one has to turn away from it on occasion. So, under the new initiative perspectives, we will see how we can think of different dimensions so that your essay is multidimensional and enriched with good ideas that are different from others. So, before we dwell into the topic, what is the context? So, today, as you know, we all have locked down ourselves because of Prime Minister's calling. So, Janta curfew. In our own homes, we are all locked up. We don't know what will happen after 9 p.m. But till 9 p.m., at least, we are all locked within our homes. So, in a way, we are all isolated. We are doing self quarantine to prevent the spread of COVID-19 or coronavirus. It's a great initiative which we hope will continue for another 15 days. Otherwise, we may have to face situation like Italy. Now, coming to the topic, you will have to ask fundamental questions here. In order to understand the world, one has to turn away from it on occasion. The meaning is very simple. To understand the world, one has to be in solitude, one has to isolate oneself and think about the world to understand it better, move away from the world. So, when we say to understand the world, which world you want to understand? For somebody, it can be the world can be their own life, their own thinking. An individual himself or herself can be their own world. So many introverts think that they themselves are their world. For somebody, a family can be the world. For somebody, the nation can be the world. For somebody, planet can be the world. For somebody, a wild living in a wild forest can be a world. For somebody who is deeply metaphysical, I mean philosophical, the universe can be their world. So to understand which world, you will have to turn away from it. So if the world is yourself, so you will have to turn away from yourself. On occasion means find an occasion where you find a reason to move away from your world and think about it to understand it better. If family is your world, turn away from it, move away from it. So this is how we will have to diversify the meaning of the world itself. So identify which are all the worlds one actually lives in. And then what does it mean to understand? To understand this world, to understand yourself. If yourself is the world, it can be to know yourself more better, how you think, how you function, what are your limitations, what are your potentials, what are the possibilities that life has offered to you or is offering to you, or what are your goals, why do you want to live. So at individual level, you can think of such kind of n number of questions, and at the national level, at the level of the globe, at the level of the universe, so you can ask similar questions to understand the world as a whole. If humanity is your world, to understand the humanity, you have to turn away from it. Turn away from it means from the humanity. So to understand the humanity, how do you want to understand why it behaves the way it behaves, what are its fundamental features, why there are so many divides, why there are so many discriminations, why there are so many misunderstandings, why there are so many conflicts, wars, why there are so many divisions, why people fight each other at individual level, at national level, and why there is no common understanding on the issues that are affecting us all. So like that, you can think about it. Now the question is, why you should turn away from your world to understand it better. Why can't you do while living within your world? Right, you can ask such kind of questions also. So within, like for example, if family is your world, if your community is your world. You may belong to a tribal community, that may be your world. Why you will have to, why will you have to move away from the tribal community? You can stay within that and understand. So ask such kind of questions and try to find answers. Then when you move away from the world and when you want to understand what are the requirements, right, it is mainly you want to move away because you want to move away from distractions, you want to move away from commitments, you want to move away from roadblocks, you want to move away from people whom to you are attached, because that attachment can be a distraction. But when you move away from someone, somebody, some part of the world, can peace be guaranteed? Say you move to, as a solo tourist, you move to a far away place on a hilltop. What are the restrictions, what are the limitations that you might face? For how long you will be staying there, trying to understand the world? What about the food? What about the living conditions? And can you live alone? Or if you want to move away to a city, from your own city, in Bangalore is your world. If you want to move to Delhi and understand Bangalore better, so can Delhi offer you a better place to think, understand? So like that, there can be limitations wherever you go, and limitations can be related to your own thinking, your own people, and the nature of the place. And in this world, the technology itself, you carry your mobile phone and you cannot think, you carry your laptop and there is so much work to do and you cannot think. So there are blockages or roadblocks to think itself. You will have to dwell upon such kind of limitations. And coming to the example of coronavirus, now we all have locked ourselves and we are all maintaining social distance. Are we doing it voluntarily? Are we doing it out of compulsion? Are we doing it because the government has asked to do it? And then another question, can everybody do it? Can a daily wage laborer can afford to do this? And if you see, it is the rich people in the days of coronavirus who are affected more and who can maintain the social distance and who can isolate themselves, because they have means to survive n number of days. And also, unfortunately, the government will be more kind to these kind of people. And similarly, try to ask question about different sections of society, that what does world mean to them? What does, for a child, what is its world? For a woman, what is her world? And for a refugee, what is his or her world? And for a war victim or for a rape victim, what are their world? So like that, for different individuals, their worlds can be different things. So there are n number of ways to bring different dimensions into your essay. The best way to bring dimensions is to ask questions. Sometimes you should also ask questions like, what purpose it serve? Of course, like when you want to understand the world, what is the purpose? For somebody, it is to kindle creativity, imagination, or get more clarity, or it can be just means to get more peace, more detachment, more harmony, something like that. And somebody wants to understand the world better, so that they can create a painting, they can write a book, they can write a poem, something like that. There is always a purpose also. But does that purpose is utilitarian? Does it help large number of people? Does it help only the individual, or does it also have social purpose as well? So you can ask such kind of questions also. And similarly, You can talk about meditation. You can talk about how you can understand what are the means. Through meditation you can understand. Through writing you can understand. By just closing your eyes and thinking, you can understand. So go on asking such kind of questions. Your essay automatically will have n number of dimensions. So the best way to write a original essay is to ask unusual questions. So ask a different question than what your usual way of thinking allows you to think. By doing that, the reader will find a new perspective in your essay, and an essay which surprises the reader with new perspectives will always get very good marks, provided that perspective is substantiated, validated with very good fact, or an example, or illustrated with a story. So think about all these things. Wish you all the best, and stay safe. Stay within your rooms. Don't go out. The more we lock ourselves down and think about our world. For you, the UPSC prelims, mains, and interview is the world. Think about it more. Understand the nature of the exam. Work towards it, and understand why you want to be a civil servant. It's the best time to stay away from all the distractions and focus on the exam. So you might be already knowing about our 75 days plan. So it has been followed by thousands of people all over the country. You also start following it. You will definitely find more useful. The best use is that it will make you consistent, and it will keep you away from all the distractions. Wish you all the best. Take care of your health, and let us meet the next week. Thank you. Good night.